Xenon's Dream Awakening might be a little diff. So Xenon was one of the characters that actually got Dream Awoken along with a bunch of other units like the Blade Masters, Roy, all them. And Xenon's Dream Awakening is a little bit interesting if you actually wanted to use this character. By the way, you know, just like all the other Dream Awakenings, he did get buffed, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But if we look at his Dream abilities here, he has his Spectral Dream, which I think is a dope name, by the way. He autofill demon units arc gauge by 2 just constantly, which is insanely good for so many characters, even with it being a smaller archgen number like being only +2. Not to mention as well, he also is able to autofill everybody's arc gauge by 3 with his art, and with his super art, he does a burst archgen along with a magic damage buff. Now, his skill is a little bit lackluster, you know, kind of more to be desired here, but BE output isn't necessarily bad, especially if you're fighting multiple enemies. Whenever you activate this skill, you could get tons of BE and tons of arts just instantaneously. One thing that I also kind of wish is that on the magic damage, they up this to like 50%. Since this does have a cost of 10%, I feel like upping the magic damage buff to 50% or even like 80% would have been so much more beneficial than just leaving it at 30. But yeah, with the arch and everything, a lot of you guys was telling me that I should give this guy a try in a lot of demon teams and see if I like him or not, which that's what we're going to be doing today. One thing to note though is that since we're all going to be trying him in demon teams and archgening and all that, this guy is type B archgen. In terms of the stuff that I would recommend for his slots here, if you were going to be using them, since he is more of the supporting character with the 5-star magic and 5-star physical, you want to go really hard archgen items here. With the 4-star support, Finaloha shorts, Arc Ignite, even Pala Necklace, I would say wouldn't be bad just to help everyone else get archgen as quick as possible. In terms of the crest on this character, arc gauge up, I think is very beneficial just so he can get into his arc gauge faster and being able to support your team quicker. If you don't want to use arc gauge up, you could also use equipment CT just to kind of help him have his archgening equips up quicker. Or I guess if you want to like build this guy more for like nuke comps or whatever, you could also go with like attack up. As I said with Roy, these characters are really old, but we're gonna still check them out just because we never got to do this back in the day. I didn't have this feature since GS is that old at this point. As we see here, we have his attack skill, just a few slices and a stab. Looks nice. We have his art or his skill here. I really like the skill. It's a lot different. This was actually very unique at the time because there was no one else in the game that actually, you know, conjured up something. But as you see, he's able to conjure a spirit or a dragon and just eat whatever's in front of him. He has his art here, which is the tornadoes, is what I always remember. And then we have the true art here, which is the tornadoes again. And I think there's a little bit more. Yeah, then he like sucks the tornadoes into like his blade and then stabs. I actually don't mind his true art. I think his true art's very unique. I really like the effect on here because if you actually see whenever he throws the tornadoes, it's actually the blade itself is coming off of the sword. I don't know if you guys see that, but look, the blade is off of it. Then it conjures the tornado. Then the blade literally forms back onto the hilt, and then he stabs forward. I think that's pretty sick. That's really unique. I don't think there's any other character in the game that kind of uses their weapon like that. So I would say, like, still to this day, like, this animation, like, really holds up as being, like, very unique and something different, and you can see that they were trying to do something. You know, they were trying to cook up a little bit, just a little bit. Since we are in the Super Awoken era, I was really debating what kind of team I wanted to make for a demon team, and this is kind of what I came up with. As you see, we have the Ainz, the Xenon, the Rosetta, and the Shalltear. Now, you may be like, oh, Rosetta's here, she's type B, she's not going to stack with Xenon. As I mentioned before, we're not going to be focusing on Xenon's art, really. We're going to be focusing on Xenon's true art, since it does give a burst archgen and magic damage up. Of course, Rosetta, if you don't know about this character, she is able to actually apply a magic resist down and a water resist down, but we're mainly going to be looking at the magic resist down and the archgen that she's able to give to the whole team. And Shalltear is the only one that I would necessarily trade out. Since Shalltear already gives herself the crit damage buff here, it's not really going to be too beneficial working with Ainz. But I really couldn't find like any other crazy damage dealer that could kind of fill this role of being more of a sustained damage dealer. I think later on, once we get like Demon King Vox and all that, it could definitely like really shake up stuff. Like I could see Xenon being used alongside Demon King Vox, like Demon King Vox, Xenon, Ainz, and then you could use the new Rosetta that just came out, and you could have a really strong team. So we're just going to fight a few different things here and just kind of show you what the archgening or the sustain could be for this team. I think if we were going into more harder content, we would want like more defensive characters on the team. But as we all know with demon units, there's not too many defensive units unless you want to use like Thetis, which you could absolutely change out the Shalltear for a Thetis instead of having more damage, just having more tanking capabilities, which I think would also work really well. But yeah, I don't know. Demon teams aren't really sustain heavy. Or even like the mono dark team, because I feel like a lot of demons are dark units. They have no healer. The only healer we have is what? Nier? I think Nier is the only demon healer in the entire game. One thing I am kind of amazed of is though how quick we are actually able to get all of our stuff off. I mean, granted, we have a lot of art shitting equips here, but you'll see that Xenon is almost in super arts right now. If we had an art gauge up crest on him, he would be in a true art. Did I say super art? I meant true art. And then not only just that, you know, the magic damage and everything else, like, and then now we have Rosetta going, we have Ainz going, we have tons of art shit on the team now. And then we can pop off with Rosetta's True Art to get the magic resist down on the enemy. And then that's going to arch in for everybody. And then we just need to wait for Ainz to get his Super Art. And then he can pop off with the girl Shaltir. And now with the combined might of both of these guys, they should be able to kill. Oh, wait. Are we not going to be able to kill? Oh, God. Oh, God. Wait. Ainz, can you kill? Can you kill? Hey, Ainz can kill. Because I have died to this. I actually did die to this because, yeah, Oldius's half HP nuke does some damage. But yeah, the art shitting is nice, and especially for demon units, at least at the moment, I feel like Xenon's actually pretty solid. As you see, you know, the damage wasn't anything crazy. He did out-damage Rosetta, but Rosetta is more of a support character anyway. I don't think this Dream Evolution was necessarily bad. The only issue I really have with this is that the magic damage buff is a little bit too low for my liking. I think if the magic damage buff was about like 50% or more, it would be a little bit better. Also, you see here, this is another like big issue that I have with Xenon, is that you see that our HP on the team is extremely low. Everyone's pretty much at death's door. Yeah, everyone's at death's door, which is another problem we have with the demon units, at least at the moment, is that we don't have a healer. Even in JP with Demon King Vox, there's no healer for the demon team yet, which I'm wondering who they're waiting on or what they're waiting on to give demon units like more of this supporting, or not supporting, but more of this sustain type of team comp. Because they're releasing units, they're doing the stuff that's, you know, seeming like they're going to make a more sustain heavy demon or a more sustain heavy dark team, and it's just nowhere to be found. Like, where is it? We need the healer, man. We need the healer slash archgener for dark teams. Until we get that, I feel like these characters that are more sustain heavy kind of just wind up going on other teams, or you just don't use them at all. Like, for example, Ainz, right? He's this more of the sustain archgener. He's a dark unit. He's a demon. But why would I want to use Ainz just only on a demon team whenever this, I would say, isn't even his best team? I would even argue that Ainz's best team isn't even like a mono dark team at times, even though dark units take the full benefit of his crit damage buff and all that. But I would say just using the crit damage buff for himself, or using only one other dark character that he's buffing up, is more than enough. The crit damage buff, right? He doesn't need a full team of dark units for you to get the maximum benefit out of Ainz. As you see, the Archgen and everything else is pretty good. You know, the burst Archgen, the 2 Archgen passively, the passive art gauge with everybody else, like everything just seems to work really well. Not to mention too that Vox, I think his passive, Demon King Vox by the way, I'm pretty sure he has the passive of he's able to give Archgen to all demon allies. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is a unique passive to him. It's not the same passive that Xenon has. Yeah, this actually is. This is a unique passive to him. He's able to increase demon allies art gauge by 3. So you gotta think, passive archgen wise, you have someone that's able to increase demon allies art gauge by 3, using someone like Xenon that's able to increase demon allies art gauge by 2. Plus, you have more of the active archgen stuff, right? Like Ainz, he's able to give 6 art gauge per second to demon allies. And the burst archgeners like that. Like, there's so much stuff that I think this Xenon's Dream Awakening is really setting him up to be a really solid option as a archgener slash supporter for future demon teams. Pretty sure we'll get somebody, right? I know everybody's always like, oh yeah, you're just gonna replace the Dream Evolution characters with like better options whenever you get them. True, that might be the case, but until we get that character that is an insanely strong supporting archgener for demon teams, right? Xenon could be a very good addition to any demon team, especially in the future whenever we do get Demon King Vox and stuff. So for right now, man, I'm gonna tell you like it is. Xenon is pretty solid. I wouldn't call him good. I wouldn't call him bad. I would just call him overall a very solid option now. But ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be it for this one. Let me know below what you guys like about Xenon. You guys like this Dream Evolution? You guys not? Or what's the deal? You guys can let me know all that type of stuff. And if you are someone out there that does like it, tell me what team you use. Tell me what teams you use for Xenon. Even if you're on JP and you use Xenon in your JP demon teams, I would love to hear, you know, the type of team comps that you came up with on the Japanese version as well. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it. Thank you all again for coming out. And last but not least, you guys already know, don't forget to drink water.